So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show in the world. That's right, we're self proclaimed. We are self proclaimed the best watch market update show in the world. That's right. Let's forget about, that Fudinki has us as number one. We are self proclaimed the best watch market update show in the world. We only come here to speak the truth, to drop some knowledge that I learned, and I pass it to you, and we continue on. And before I get into the show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you for your kind help. Your kind help, because this is your channel. This is the tomato can, recovering army. We're the army here. So I'm going to ask you for, please do not forget to give me a strong thumbs up, and if you don't mind, if you're new to the channel and you're bringing some new people in, please subscribe to the channel. Believe me, you won't regret it. We are number one for a reason, because we drop the truth here. Like today, we're going to drop more truth, for you guys, because you guys need it, right? So thank you very much for all that you're doing for us, and for your channel. Saludos, Alberto. Saludos, buenasera, buenasera. All that good stuff, So ladies and gentlemen, before I start everything, I want to talk to you about a couple of precious metal materials that you guys need to know about, Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but rhodium today is at $7,175. $7,175 is the rhodium. Ladies and gentlemen, palladium is at $1,276 as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something today a little different. Silver is at 45. The poor man's precious metal is just going all the way up to the moon. You gotta be very careful, because you can buy a lot of it now and make some fast money, a lot of silver, silver, mucho silver, plata, mucha plata. You understand me? I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just telling you what it is. It's the moment, abraquen y suelten, You take it in and you let it go. You take it in, you let it go. And ladies and gentlemen, gold is powerful. Gold is unbelievable. It's a superstar. It's at $3,765 a troy ounce. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to step away from gold for a moment so you can see how this thing is, behaving. These metals, the way they're behaving. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. But platinum? Platinum, right? Platinum has been going like this. Up, down, flat line, up, down, like that. You know what I'm trying to say? If you don't understand me, somebody help me out there. Like that, And like this, it's acting real crazy. Real crazy, this platinum, I'm sorry to hear that, Wicked. You should have not done that. But we're talking about platinum at this moment. Does anybody know where platinum is today? It's unbelievable, that platinum. Well, I'm going to tell you what platinum is today. It's scary. Platinum today is at $1,540 a troy ounce. Platinum. This is what they're doing to us. They're playing with us. They don't want you to really see which is the one, which is cuál es el macho. You know what the macho is. I don't have to tell you which is the macho. The macho is, you know what I'm saying. Who's the macho? The macho is gold, But they're playing with us, You imagine this platinum was at 13 something, is at 1540. $1,540. So you gotta be, ten la vista abierta, have your eyes open, because this is crazy. You know what I'm trying to say, Damon. This is crazy. This is crazy what's happening with platinum. Platinum right now is at $1,540. And like I told you in one of my last live streams, Rolex will keep on charging you more, platinum more than gold, even though the gold is the is the big dog, you know. Gold is the big dog, and platinum es un perrito chiquitito, you know, a small little puppy, you know. But Rolex still gives it to you deep with the platinum. But I'm letting you know what's going on, so you're awakened. So gold 3763, silver 45, platinum 1540, palladium 1276, and rhodium, one of my favorite, $7,175. All right, guys? You got that clear. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but it's this AD Rolex store. A Rolex AD store, you know, over there in St. Raymond, California. You know that? St. Raymond, California, over there, you know? Over there, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they have over there, you know, they have the Rolex in their showcases. And St. Raymond, California. You know what I'm talking about? Or you don't know what I'm talking about? Because this is serious stuff, you know? This is serious stuff. Over there in St. Raymond, California, you know, a bunch of thugs went in there with handguns and pixie axes, you know, and they you know, broke windows and, you know, all kind of crazy things over there in that side of town on the West Coast, you know? Over there in St. Raymond, San Ramon, California. And they took, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but they took over $1 million in merchandise, you know? The people are going crazy, you know, people are going crazy porque no hay dinero por la calle. There's no money in the street, you know, there's no money. And people are doing, you know, crazy things. They're daring themselves to do things. They're unbelievable. You know, oh my God, 35 miles outside San Francisco. Thank you very much, Damon. Thank you. So then you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Damon, or am I telling you this news? You know, I'd rather be the one telling you, you know, but I don't know, you know. They took all the Rolex they found there, you know, in the windows. They took them out. It was unbelievable. It was something like the movie Heat, you know, like the movie Heat with Al Pacino and Val Kilmer, you know, those characters in that movie like that. You know, so it's a big gang. It was a real big gang, and they took all the watches and they took jewelry. And I believe that the jewelry store, just in case you want to look into this, this is unbelievable. You know what I'm trying to say, Jose. They cover their faces. It's unbelievable, you know. But I believe, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like to say these things, but I think the name of the jewelry store is called, you know, Jewelry Heller Jewelry. I don't know, something to that, you know. Over there, you know, down there in the West Coast, people going crazy. Now, let me just tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful to have all those watches, you know, whatever luxury watch you like to, you know, rock around the house. It's a mess. Thank you, Papi. Then you know what I'm saying. I was just going to tell you people over there from the West Coast, guys, you got to be careful wearing your watches. You know, you got to be very, very careful wearing your watches over there. Over there on that side, I don't know too much about the politics of the West Coast. I do a little reading, but I feel like over there they have a little freedom to do whatever they want. You know, they have a little freedom to go to CVS and Walgreens and take whatever shampoo they want. You know what I'm trying to say, you know? And so I'm telling you, be careful out there. You know, protect yourself. The most important thing you have in your life is your life. You know, si te meten una puñalada y te meten un tiro, you know, a bow and arrow, you know what I'm trying to say, you know, it's no good, you know, tú sabes, you know, like over here, you know, where we live over here in Florida, you know, I feel at times like I'm John Wayne, you know, because, you know, we could, you know, tú sabes, you know, coming out blazing, you know. I'm not playing around, you know. But over there, I don't know if that governor over there in California or the West Coast, whatever you call it, you know, and maybe he's kind of free over there with, you know, doing things. So I'm telling you, be careful with your watches, your wedding band. You know, la gente está que se comen, you know. La gente está que se comen. People are eating each other alive, papi. You know, listen to me. I told you about that thing that these people that became homeless after they lost their jobs. They lost their house. They lost their car. I think it's called fantastic, you know? People, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a demonstration because I have to give you a demonstration, ladies and gentlemen. People over there in Pennsylvania or in Philadelphia, I don't know how this happens, Damon. I don't know how this happens. But the people, when they take that, consume that drug, look what happens to them. Why do they stay like this? You know? And I'm talking about for minutes. They stay like this. You know? Should I do it this side? They don't even move. I don't know what that thing has. You know, what that thing, you know, they put in there. Exactly. Frozen people. Thank you very much. Again, one more time. Damon, I like that one. Frozen people. Like this. I'm talking about hours go by like this. You know, I don't know what they're giving them over there. I don't know what it is. Statues, frozen people. Unbelievable. I'm in total disbelief, ladies and gentlemen. These people lost their jobs. They lost their cars. They're living in the street. But they have money to consume that fantastic. You know, let's call it fantastic. Because they'll throw a thunder lightning to the TV tower and we got to start all over today. And I don't feel like starting all over today. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel. But ladies and gentlemen, la situación está jodida, you know? You know, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something, you know? I'm always looking at things, and I got to say this quickly so I can continue with the show. But you know that young lady, the wife of the gentleman that passed away, that he got assassinated, you know, Charlie Kirk. You know, I don't know. I've been looking at her lately, and you know, she's been giving these interviews, and they look like they're staged. You know, I just want to say that. And for some reason, she reminds me of the 1200 Club. You know, one of the lady of the 1200 Club. You know, they're an evangelist. You know, like, what was her name? Tabby Baker, you know, those people, Tammy Baker, all that. For some reason, she's giving me that. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. And if it's me, it's fine. I'm just telling you what's happening to me because my mind wanders around, you know. And I'm looking at her when she's talking, and I'm telling you something. If I lose my wife or, you know, any family member of mine, I wouldn't be able to. You know, the way she, I don't know. I'm just saying that, you know, I wanted just to get that off my chest because I'm a person that I feel very bad for that young man that, you know, he got assassinated. But for some reason, his wife is confusing me a little bit, the way she's coming around on TV. Please don't throw me a thunder lightning for saying that. I'm just telling you what I see. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell you something that you need to know. You need to know this. You know, I know a lot of you people have asked me that you're dying to get a Rolex stainless steel with a green ceramic bezel and a black dial. You know, I call that watch the Froggy Legs. I call it the Froggy Legs. It's a beautiful watch. It's a 41 millimeter, you know. I gotta tell you what it is, Damon. I gotta tell you the truth. You know what I see. You know what I see. And then Sweet Kid Kino's always in the back, you know, telling me things, you know. It's like the Great Gazoo, you know, the Great Gazoo from Flintstone. That's who Kino is. Unbelievable. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll get back to you if you want me to tell you a little bit more about Tammy Baker and what was her husband's name? Tammy Baker, what was his name? She had a husband, you know, that he cried a lot in TV. I forgot his name. Tammy Baker and I don't know, I forgot his name, but Jim Baker. Jim Baker. Jim Baker. You know, Jim Baker, you know. You had Jim Baker, you had Jimmy Swagger, you know, and then you had the 1200 Club. There was another lady with the blonde painted hair, and she would cry too. But forget about that. Let's just talk about the Rolex. Tammy Faye Baker, correct. So this Rolex stainless steel with the green ceramic bezel and black dial, I gotta tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There's a watch that you have to be, you know, looking at it and not Now keep on daydreaming about the green ceramic bezel. We're talking about the Rolex Submariner, stainless steel, black ceramic bezel, blacked out with a date. With a date. You know, you follow me? People are still enclochado, like a clutch. You know, when you throw first, second, third in your car, in your Toyota Celica, you're enclochado. Your clutch is there stuck. You need to move away from that green one, ceramic bezel, and look into the black one with a date. With a date. That one is more powerful than the green ceramic bezel. Just to let you know what's going on. Just to let you know, para que no sigan de lambones, y no sigan de palomos, You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you things I did not too long ago. I did a live stream. Like Mr. Doda showed me to call it live stream. And I did chapter 28 dedicated just to that live stream. So you got to go back and look at, chapter 28. I threw everything under the bus. I let everybody know what's going on, and right now I'm being watched, and so I gotta be very careful, guys. So look into the Rolex Submariner, chapter 28. I'm telling you, I laid it out, Papi. And some people, I came in through here, went out through here, but what can I say? I told them the truth, Let me explain to you something. That chapter, I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. That chapter was so strong. Chapter 28. Whenever you want to go back and get smart, you look at that chapter. In my live streams, if I make it to 500 in total views, that's like a record, right? Listen to me. Remember, what I say here is the truth, Papi. I don't hide behind the curtains. I say it like it is. If I get 500 views, that is something big, big, big. But on chapter 28, ladies and gentlemen, in chapter 28, I must have 2,000 views already. People cannot believe what I said. People cannot believe what I said. So if you want to go back to chapter 28, you go back and you listen to it, and you're going to go, coño, ese Juan Felipe Nieves está loco. Está loco. I'm not going to tell you what I said. If you want to know what I say, you Google it. I'm not going to tell you. So I told you that part. I told you about gold. I told you about, the robbery over there in San Ramon, California, St. Raymond, California, and Heller AD, El mundo está loco, papi, está loco. I told my wife now that when we go out now, we're going to go out in our house. We're going to go in our house. And I told you, put on all your watches, your jewelry, all that stuff. And I put my watches, and we eat en la cocina. We eat in the kitchen. We're not going to go out no more, because we're not going to lose our life, con los lambones eso. No hay dinero en la calle, la cosa está jodida, papi, está jodida. Let me drink some jungle juice because I'm getting excited, ¿Tú me entiendes en eso, lo que yo digo? Hay que comerse los huevos fritos en la cocina. You gotta eat fried eggs in the kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you something else. I'm a person that I try to always tell you what I know, what I hear and what I understand, You know what I'm hydrated. I have to get hydrated, Mr. D. And I tried telling you guys for a year and a half ago, that company over there that has a big umbrella, the company that has a big umbrella and has many different watch brands under their umbrella. I gotta give it to you, Jose. Es increíble la receta que tengo. Yo soy un fenómeno. So let me tell you, for a year and a half, I've been telling you that company over there for Geneva, the company in Geneva, have a big umbrella and has a lot of different watch companies under their umbrella, And I've been telling you for a year and a half, esa compañía está jodida. They're frogged up. These people are in trouble, you know? And I kept on and kept on. And you people here, you come up through here. But I tell you, you know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Donald. You know what I'm trying to say. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you that company is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. You know, they don't know what to do no more, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the stocks, the stocks are, está jodida la cosa. You know, we call that company, watches Switzerland, that company over there. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. I told you not too long ago that this company was dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants. And I'm going to tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you don't know, it has dropped. This company has dropped to 0.6. 0.6. 0.6. It has dropped. 0.6. And I'm going to ask all of you, because you people out there are very, very smart people. You people, the truth of the truth is, yo no sé nada, papi. Yo no soy un carajo. Yo lo que sé hablar. I just talk and that's all. But the one that knows you for real is you people. What is going on when they say 0.6? The stock. And somebody told me it's time to sell. It's time to dump it. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's time to dump it already. That's what they're telling me. They're telling me it's time to dump it already. To dump that stock. So if any of you have some of that stock, you know what to do. But that's not the story. The story is que estos gilipollas, los morones estos, los morones, porque son morones. Morones means morons. These morons are telling people like you and me that this is happening to them. You know why I'm going to say it's happening to them? You know why I'm going to say it's happening to them? I'm getting kind of hot here, man. It's unbelievable. You know what they're using to say why they're going through this? They're saying because the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, he jacked up that 15% tariff. But I got news for all of you. For all you sandbags out there, all you crumb bums, window lickers, crayon eaters, tomato cans. You know that? Listen to me. That's a sketch. That is a sketch. That is a sketch. Esa gente tan jodido. These people have been walking with a bad leg for the last year and a half. Nobody is buying watches. That's why. Nobody's buying watches. Don't let these people tell you that the reason that company over there with the big umbrella and many different watch companies under them is because of tariff. Don't let them get you. Don't let them get you. Don't let them tell you it's a sketch of the tariffs. Don't let them tell you it's a sketch of, Charlie Kirk. Don't let them tell you it's a sketch of, Charlie the King from over there from England. Don't do that. Don't let them tell you it's a sketch from, you know what I'm trying to say. You cannot continue being possum kickers. You know that? You cannot continue being possum kickers. While I am here, I tell you the truth. No sean pendejo. You know that? You know what that means? What I said? I said don't be dodo birds. That's what I said. Unbelievable me too, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what it is. They want to blame it now on the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue. Let me explain to you. I don't care about the red team and I don't care about the blue team. Es la misma mierda con diferente peste. It's the same shit with this. That was an attack. I just got attacked. I got attacked. I got attacked. Hold on, I got attacked. A lightning. Hold on. Woof! Lightning. Too much knowledge for free, papi. ICA, baby. ICA. You guys don't believe me. Dios mío, papá. I'm telling you, you saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, so don't let these people tell you now. Don't let these people. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe they'll relax. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't let these people tell you that this is happening to them over there, Swiss Geneva over there, because the guy from over there from Pennsylvania Avenue, the tariffs. Esa compañía viene cojeando, that company is coming limping for the longest already, limping, and they're looking now, and all of them are defending them now, all these crumb bums out there. You know what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, esto es serio. You guys gotta be smart, and ladies and gentlemen, you got to continue doing something. And that something is this. If you really appreciate this, a channel, public service watch announcement channel, you need to always support the channel with a big thumbs up. Tell your fellow friends about this channel, because this is the only channel out there giving you this, ladies and gentlemen. Papi, no hay dinero por la calle. There's no money in the street, man. There's no money out there. People are frogged up. People are tired. People don't know what to do, how to get ahead of the game. There's no way to get ahead of the game. Esto está jodido. This is all rigged. This is all rigged. This is all rigged. If you have cash, you're the king now. You control everything. If they told you for a watch $40,000 and you feel like saying, I got 25 stacks for you here, you say 25 stacks. You're the king. Papi, these people are loaded up. They're loaded up with merchandise. They can't even do the old trick they would do on you guys. Hype amongst each other. Hype prices of watches amongst each other. They can't even do that no more, Papi. They can't. Because they don't have nobody to sell those watches to. There's nobody, Papi. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you watches right now that they have locked away because they don't even want to bring them out. They don't want to bring out no more the yellow gold, John Mayer, green dial, yellow gold gauges, Daytona, the new one. They don't want to bring out no of those Patek Philippe Cubitus. They don't want to bring them out. Anything that's hot, they don't want to bring it out because they can't sell it, papi. No hay estilla, muchacho, no hay dinero. La situación está mala. The situation is bad. Don't worry about it. When I say something in Spanish, guys, I'll repeat it in English too as well. I'll be an interpreter, I'll be like in the United Nations. You saw what happened to that gentleman over there in the United Nations, right? The gentleman in the United Nations. You saw what happened to him? He went over there to talk in the United Nations, that big shot from Pennsylvania Avenue. And he went to get on the escalator and it wouldn't work, And him and his wife, like two little birds had to walk up the stairs, Unbelievable, And then he says he was going to talk. And the I don't know how that word is called, teleprompter, whatever it is, He couldn't even see, it was broken too. So, he told the United Nations, thank you very much for, you know what I'm trying to say. They shut it off, like what they do to me. They did it to him. They shut it off. Esto es una locura. Esto es una locura. What's going on? Let me tell you what's going on in our country, the United States of America. I have not ever seen it. I have not ever seen it. I'm telling you, I'm going to just come clean and say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep on asking you this question. Is he still alive? You know who I'm talking about? One more time. Is he still alive? That's the question you got to ask yourself now. Is he still alive? The lady that looks like Tammy Baker now, she's the new one, Okay, he's gone, unfortunately. Okay. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, because right now Mr. Donut says something, and I really want you guys to listen to this very carefully. He said, unfortunately, he's gone. And I have a lot of respect for Mr. Donut, but a lot of respect. But I'm going to tell you a story, ladies and gentlemen. There was a big time comedian by the name of Chappelle Dave. Chappelle Dave. Listen and learn. Chappelle Dave. I want you guys to listen and learn. And I'm going to give you some goosebumps when you hear this today. You're going to go, man, this guy, and I can't. Every once in a while, I'll throw you a little bit of rice para que coman, so you puedan picar. So that guy, Chappelle Dave, big time, and they went to visit him. You don't know about this, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. So they went to visit. No. Chappelle Dave, Chappelle Dave. You put it backwards, and you got the name. And they went to visit him, right? And they went over to visit him, and when these people went to visit him, they were going to talk to him about his guarantee, his options, and all that good stuff, right? And this is freaky how this is. I'm going to tell you something big. No se asusten. So what happens is that a lot of these people in the entertainment business, they kill them as movie stars, as entertainers. Did you understand that? They kill them as entertainers, as movie stars. You kill. No more movies for you, no more singing, no more comedian, right? So let me explain to you something. When these people go visit these people, the guy went nuts. That Chappelle guy, he went to Africa. He went to Africa. You don't know about this, guys. This is old stuff, but I'm going to give you a little taste. So when these people go visit him, that they leave, they told him his options, what they wanted from him. The men in black people, let's call them men in black, that way you understand, men in black. They went over there and they corrected him. Listen to the word, don't be dodo birds. This is a real word. They corrected him. When you're in that entertainment business, in that world, they just correct you and they give you the options they want you to follow. So when they're telling him over there, they're correcting him and they're giving him these options and they're giving him this contract of $50 million. Papi, this is all true. This is all, you Google it, you'll find it all there. So when these people leave, when they leave, he calls, I'm going to say Kino, he calls Kino and he says to him, you're not going to believe what happened to me. He was freaking out. You're not going to believe what happened, who came to visit me. You're not going to believe who came to visit me. I'm going to make it simple so you can understand me. And Kino's freaking out. Well, what do you mean? He says, you're just not going to believe. And he told Kino everything. He says, they came to visit me. They were dressed up. And I couldn't believe when they took off his glasses and he took off his hat. It was, so you understand me. It was Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Whitney Houston. You understand me? You understand me? That's how it is. They come to visit you. You got it? It's a scary thing. You imagine you're sitting down and you've been thinking for the longest that these people are gone. Mr. Donor knows what I'm talking about. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And they sit down and you've been thinking for years, for 15, for 20, for 40 years, you've been thinking that Elvis Presley has been dead from an overdose. But he's one of the puppets that he's still working for them, and he made that visit. It's like it is, man. You don't know about this stuff, Bobby. You guys are not ready for this. You guys are ready to continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. You know that? And that's how it is. When you're awake, you get to see everything. You know who awake me? Paco Gambino. He told me everything. My father. It's like it is. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing when you're sitting down and then you've been hearing for the last 4 years that that guy, Epstein, whatever his name is, that guy that, that guy, the guy that, you understand me? Epstein, that guy, right? So you're there sitting down, and he sits down, and you said, but you were gone. No, papi, they're gone from being in the entertainment world. They're gone from being in view, but they're still there. For many reasons. For many reasons. And you say, well, why? Why do they do that? Well, an example. Let me just tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Elvis Presley, back then, he was a little bit overweight. They say that he was throwing farts in the stage. You know that? He wasn't selling no more records. And you have a lot of people, that they're invested in you and they want their money. Do you know that Elvis Presley, after he died, he became one of the most powerful selling music singing artists ever? Bet you didn't know about that. Papa, you don't know what I'm trying to say. I tell you what it is, but don't get scared. It's what it is, guys. I'm going to keep on with the show because I just wanted to give you a little bit of an awakening, an awakening. This is all, come on, that girl making a speech talking about her husband and she's crying and it looks like it was red, like it was an act, it was a sketch, I don't know. And let me tell you, I feel very hurt for that young man that. Nelson, I know you're thirsty for it, but I believe that the rest are still they're still, they're still digesting, sitting down and looking at, listen to me. You imagine you've been thinking that Kobe Bryant has been dead for the longest. An example, right? He's dead. And Kobe Bryant goes to your house and tells you, these are your options. This is the contract. This is what you got to do. You're going to push, these black Mamba sneakers, Papi, you freak out, man. You freak out. You don't want to be in that world. You don't want to be in that world, Papi. Think about what I'm telling you. Let that shit sink in your head. I said shit, it's not a bad word. Let that sink in your head. We live in a real, one thing is that I can tell you for real. We live in a rigged world. That's what I got to say. And you gotta, you can't obey so much. You can't obey. You cannot continue obeying. Put on your glasses so you can see the truth. You can see the truth. Guys, I'm gonna give you today a watch market update. Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a watch market update on H. Moser, all right? H. Moser is a watch that I have a lot of respect for. But many people out there don't have respect for it. People say that the watch is, off the bat, 60% off. If it costs $100, $40 I'll give you for it, But I think it's one of the most well done watches out there. They're backed up by big, by big. They have a lot of big sponsors, and they're doing big things. And for some reason, the watch has not been able to, to move up. And I'll tell you why it hasn't been able to move up, because they're not hanging out with BlackRock and Blackstone and the Bilderbergers, Vanguard, State Street. You know what I'm saying? J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, they're not hanging out with those people. The moose, the moose is loose. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start off, look at that, 30 cents. Last week you said 40 cents. Today you're going 30, okay? You know what I'm saying. This watch is an H. Moser and Cie Streamliner. It's a beautiful watch, flight back chrono, blue dial, 42.8 millimeter casing, beautiful watch, with a retail price of $43,400. Unbelievable. Reference number 6902 1200. You know, so beautiful, beautiful watch. You know, stainless steel with that beautiful, you know, streamlined blue film, you know, dial. It's unbelievable. And the retail price, like I said, $43,400. Don't pay. Don't pay. Yeah, it's loose. The moose is loose. I'm gonna ask a question to Mr. Damon. Mr. Damon, what price am I gonna tell you not to pay for that watch? It's for you. What price am I gonna tell you not to pay for that H. Moser and Cie Streamliner, flight back chrono, blue dial, 42.8 millimeter casing? How much? No, no, you tell me. I want to see a number. Throw me any number you want there. Oh man. Oh my God. Okay. Don't make me correct you. Don't make me correct you like the Man in Black corrected, you know, Chappelle Dave. Don't let me correct you. You know, they correct you. You know, you saw what happened to Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr, she got corrected. And she said, I'm out of here. That's it. You know who Roseanne Barr is, you know? You know who she is. You said don't pay more than $35,000 for that watch. Okay, here it goes. I'm going to tell you don't pay for that watch. And I mean don't pay for that beautiful Streamliner blue dial chrono. You know, beautiful 6902-1200. Don't pay more than $23,000 and I'm going to be kind to you. Eat it. You do whatever you want. It's for you. Our next watch is an there you go. Look at that. What did I say? Look at Mr. Don't know what he wrote. Our next watch is an H. Moser Streamliner, stainless steel, reference number 6814-1200, skeleton tourbillon. This is an unbelievable time machine. 40 millimeter. Retail price is $98,700. $98,700. This is a monster watch. You know, this is, esto es un relosazo, esto es un reloj. Do you guys know who H. Moser is? The moose. You know, the moose. H. Moser. It's an unbelievable. $85,000. Okay. Okay. Remember, the retail is $98,700. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want with that skeleton tourbillon. Es una máquina. This is a machine. This is, papi, this is a machine. $50,000, okay. And I'm going to tell you so you guys don't keep on getting dizzy. Don't pay, and I mean don't pay more than $62,000 and bam! Okay, there it is. You got that one too, okay? That's number two. Third one, H. Moser and Cie Pioneer. Century, you know, it's unbelievable. Seconds, green fume dial, 40 millimeter, reference number 3201-1201. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch has a retail price of $18,300. $18,300. And I want you to tell me how much am I going to tell you to pay for this beautiful green fume dial. 40 millimeter. Unbelievable, this Moser. Unbelievable. Anybody has it? How much? 12,000. Okay, 12,000. One more. 14,000. 14,000. Okay, here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, you guys are special. Gente buena, ¿verdad? Gente buena. Don't pay for that watch more than $8,900 and you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, papi. H. Moser is an unbelievable time machine. But for some reason, it's not holding, you know? No aguanta, papi. No aprieta. No aprieta, you know? No aprieta. You know, I bought this watch here for $8,550, right? This watch right here. And this watch still, today, that's what I'm telling you. You know, the king of watches. The king of watches, unbelievable. It still costs you $15,000, you know? Double up, your money's there. But, you know, for some reason, these watches, they're not. And let me explain to you something, ladies and gentlemen. the watch, to be honest, man, you can go anywhere in the world. It's like liquidated, liquidation. You can liquidate. It's Rolex, papi. It's Rolex. You can't walk into Mr. Alibaba's shop and walk in with a Richard Mill and you say, I want this. Get out of here. Get out of here. But you walk in with a date just and, there it is, worldable currency. Coño, que Mr. D, it's unbelievable. It's the truth. Anywhere you go, you go there, you go to that country with a lot of sheeps, and you need money, you have a Rolex, it's money. But you can. You walk in with a Moser, y te miran, sal pa' allá, sapica. They don't want you around. Come on, guys. You know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is H. Moser. Another H. Moser. Cheap Pioneer, Centre, Seconds, Burgundy. It's a Burgundy dial. Burgundy red dial. 42.8 millimeter casing. It's an unbelievable watch. Reference number 3200/1207. Has a retail price of $14,700, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. These film dials are beautiful. The green, the blue, the red. It's unbelievable. The H Moser is loose, it's loose. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. How much am I going to tell to pay for that watch? We're talking about a watch with a little leather strap, and the whole thing of the watch is just basically that dial, the color, That's it. That's what it is. Right or wrong, I'm telling you, it's hard to beat their dials, papi. Beautiful dials. Those dials are out of hand. 95 by Mr. Blair. 9,500 by Mr. Blair. It's unbelievable, man. When you see the world that I'm in and I see the watches that I see moving around, you get disgusted. The prices you hear. Because that should be the price, $9,500. But it's not. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay. Don't pay for that beautiful H. Moser. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $6,900 and dead. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, papi. It's the truth. Listen to me. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to give you the truth. Papi, if you get $9,500 for that watch, I don't care if you're buying it from the 1619, that company is pushing it real hard. They're pushing it real hard. Papi, let me tell you, if somebody has a shot to make it big with that watch, it's that 1619 company, because they're pushing it. They're putting all their marbles in there with that watch. But if you get $9,500 for that watch, papi, you're talking about that watch is as strong as a Rolex. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying that watch is as strong as you know what I'm trying to say. Exactly. And you know what? And if they do that, Mr. D, they have the right to do it because they're the ones promoting and pushing it. These people are asking for that watch $44,000. That one, papi, yes, luxury gentleman, yes. I'm just saying it backwards. So, if you get $9,500 for that watch, and the watch costs you $14,000 and change, you're beautiful. Listen, all of us who collect watches, we buy watches and we know that we're buying it over $3,000 or $5,000. What it is, and we know that we're going to lose $5,000. We know that's the mark. We lose $5,000. That's what it is. What can I say? You bought a date for $40,000 and you're now getting selling it for $35,000. I'm not lying to you guys. You know it's the truth. Y te quedas callado. But you cannot tell me that you're going to take an H. Moser, you bought it for $14,000, and you're going to go now and sell it for $9,500. To who? To who? To who? To me and Damon and Ed and Mr. Donor. No, Mr. Donor said 30 cents to the dollar, Ladies and gentlemen, we have another H. Moser, the Venture. The Venture. It's a 42 millimeter. Listen to this watch. A 42 millimeter white gold. You know, it's hand wine. You know, hand wine. Beautiful white gold. Tremendo reloj. Blue fume dial. Un relosazo. Un relosazo. You know, with the strap. You know, leather strap. Beautiful watch. White gold. Ladies and gentlemen, that watch has a retail price of $18,500. $18,500. How much am I going to tell you not to pay for that beautiful H. Moser white gold? You know, beautiful. This is una jodida este reloj. Una reloj bello, beautiful watch. I mean, you put this watch on your hand y las panties se caen para el piso. Las panties se caen, papi. Te tiran las panties. Cagá, pero te la tiran. You know how much am I going to tell you to pay for that watch? How much? How much? Tell me. $13,500. Stop right there, okay? I don't need no more. I don't need no more prices. That's it. Don't pay for that watch, for that beautiful white gold. Don't pay. This man right here is the closest luxury gentleman. That gentleman right there is the closest right now that I have. The closest one, and he missed it by $800. Don't pay for that watch more than $9,200 and bam! Okay, there it is. You know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another one here. We have another H. Moser Cie and Duavor Sentry white gold 40 millimeter 12001213. Okay, also has a blue dial as well. Retail price on this watch, white gold, 40 millimeter, $23,900. $23,900. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Mr. Donut. Shoot something there. Go ahead. Nobody knows about these watches. And this is the reason that we need to know about these watches too. So you know what's going on. Gentlemen, you're all here. This is a tremendous watch brand. Not only as a brand, they make tremendous watches. Tremendous watches. If they connect with the right person, you're saying $14,750. You cannot continue looking at those prices in social media. You cannot. You know, you cannot. Esto está malo, papi. Esto está malo. You cannot. But you're pretty close, to be honest. You missed it by some G's there, you know, a couple of grand, you know. But don't pay for that watch more than $11,500. And okay, just letting you know what's going on. You have to know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly, the right person is a tomato can. And to be honest, it's not. You know, I want to defend a tomato can. I want to defend them. And it's not that. Let me tell you, man. They make these dials. They make these movements that they're unbelievable. And they're making these new models on watches because they're for real. They're very beautiful for real. But you know, they just haven't found the right niche of people to really take them to that. You know, that next step. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe. We're going to go into Patek Philippe now. Patek Philippe rose gold, Calatrava pilot travel timer or leather strap, 42 millimeter. Retail price on this watch, ladies and gentlemen, so you understand where the watch market is at. It doesn't matter they put a 30% tariff, a 20% tariff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I told you, and I'll keep on repeating to you, there's only 2 watch models that these people use as their cash cow. And that is the Patek Philippe Nautilus and the Patek Philippe Aquanaut. Don't let nobody else tell you no more fantasies. Papi, don't let nobody tell you no more fantasies. Those 2 models are carrying the whole factory. You know, that state-of-the-art factory they did, they cost like $600 million, I say $1 billion. It cost them those 2 watch models, papi. Those 2. When they told me that they're producing Uh, somebody help me out, but I think it's 66,000, watches, a year. Coma mierda, brother. No comas mierda. No comas mierda. Ladies and gentlemen, how many watches does Patek Philippe produce a year? Tell me. Help me out. I need your help. And Patek has one. I mean, AP has one. Exactly. That's it. Papi, these are the cash cows. The Royal Oak, and then you have Aquanaut and the Nautilus. That's it. They're carrying the whole load. They're carrying the whole load, Papi. The whole load. Listen to this one. Big pilot travel time. Calatrava pilot travel time on a leather strap, 42 millimeter. Retail price is $73,349. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you the price. That is the retail price of that watch, with the wooden box, everything. 60,000. 60,000. Yes, Rolex. Forget about Rolex telling you that they produce 1 million watches a year. It's like saying that McDonald's, sells 190 million Big Macs a year. There's not enough cows in the world, to they gotta get they gotta put dye in the meat, and that's the meat you're eating, but there's no way, there's not enough cows in the world to supply 190 million burgers, and I don't know how many billion they have sold, no existe. Do your math. La cabeza no es solamente para pelo. The head is not only for hair, it's for you to think. And I'm a maniac. So I sit down and say, but there's no way in the world. There's not enough cattle, that they can slaughter, You know what I'm saying, Mr. Donut. Thank you very much, Papa, for letting me know. Gracias, Jose. So this watch is $73,349 is the retail price plus your taxes. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in a real serious way, don't pay for that watch. It's a beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. Beautiful time machine. Don't pay for that watch more than $31,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Papi, $73,000 and the watch is at $31,000? At least that's my price. Let's say what they're telling you out there is probably 36. I'm telling you 31. I'm being generous. I'm the generous one. What kind of discount am I getting from a 73,000 to a 31? Somebody help me out. What discount am I getting? La cosa está jodida, papi. Tú lo sabes. Porque tú lo sabes, papá. Tú eres un hombre brillante. You're a brilliant mind. You know what's going on. Next watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Patek Philippe white gold complications chrono, 42 millimeter, 5924, with a green dial and a green G.I. Joe strap. This is a monster watch. This is a monster watch. Un relosazo. Un relosazo. White gold. Beautiful. G.I. Joe green dial, chronograph, white gold. Ladies and gentlemen, the retail price of this watch, that's how you know things are rotten, man. That's how you know that la situación es tan jodida. It's $97,022. $97,022 for that watch. Hold on. Onion, Patek Philippe, white gold complications, chronograph, 42 millimeter, beautiful size, big size. The grenade, you know what I'm trying to say. And this watch was at one moment, because you guys don't know about this. This watch at one moment was over $120,000. When I told you the price today, you're going to go like this. Está jodido, papi. Está jodido. 65, okay. Está jodido. Está jodido. Esto está jodido. People want to keep on skip hopping around. Somebody left me a message the other day. I'm happy the watch market is up and right. No comas mierda. No seas tan cativilla. No comas mierda. No comas mojones. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me that. Ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful chrono. Complications. That's right. Melt value. Don't pay for that watch. $97,000 is a retail. Don't pay more than $52,000. Man. Cash is king, papi. Tú sabes lo que hay en luxury. Tú lo sabes, papi. No comas mierda. Un reloj que costaba $100 y pico mil dólares cost over $100,000, over $120,000. Is today is at a basement price. Basement bargain price of $52,000. No comas mierda. Next watch, Patek Philippe. Rose gold, complications, annual calendar, regulator, 5235, 40.5 millimeter casing. Retail price, no se asusten muchachos, no sean gilipollas, $75,967. How much am I going to tell you to pay for that watch? It's disgusting, man. When I tell you the price, if you guys guess this price, ustedes son una jodienda. Tell me the price. Go ahead, Google it. While I have a drink. I'm sure you did. Wait till you hear this price. You don't want to hold that. Best buy for watches. Right there, stop it. Samir, stop right there, Samir. Stop, Samir. He Googled it. Yeah, he Googled it. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay more. And I mean, don't pay more than $29,000 and done. $29,000. The watch cost 70. Que locura, $76,000. Man, una locura. $29,000. Who's buying watches? Go ahead, tell me who's buying watches. Tell me who's buying watches. These are new watches, papi. These are not 10 years old. These are new watches. 21, 22. New watches. ¿Dónde está el dinero? No, papi. There's no more free government money out there. No more PPP loans. No more SBA loans. No more government grants, stimulus checks, unemployment checks, protection checks, for your employees. No hay dinero. Look at Mr. Donald, $28,000. No hay dinero. No comas mierda. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe stainless steel complications annual calendar. Full stainless steel. 4947, a 38 millimeter. 38 millimeter. Blue dial. Ladies and gentlemen, the price of this watch is $63,306. $63,306. You know how much I'm going to tell you to pay for this watch? After I give you this price, I'm going to talk to you about the Iron Sheik. I'm going to talk to you about that. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch. Coño, ese luxury gentleman se la sabe. Luxury gentleman se la sabe. No, Mr. Blair, you want to look high. Look at the luxury gentleman. Renato también está ahí también. He's there too. Renato's there too. Don't pay for that watch, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. Don't pay for that watch more than $31,000. You do what? Está jodido, papi. You no estilla. There's only one watch brand. Let's be honest. Que ustedes son gilipollas y they call you for a Datejust. They call you for an Oyster Perpetual. They call you for a two-tone. You're going to buy. It's Rolex, man. It's the king. The king. It's king, bro. The king. The king. The rest of those watches that have heavy meat on the bones, they're getting all those watches in the back door. We're never going to see them, papi. We're never going to see them. We're not going to see them. We're not. These people are too, you cannot tell me that gentleman, the Iron Sheik tunic man from Dubai, that he wears the white tunic, with the black string in the head, and now, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't know that Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. I'm not BSing you. This man has to have, if it's not $1 billion, he is very, very close to having $1 billion in watches. This man gets every single watch, any hype watch that you can think of. That man has it. Nobody. The closest in the United States of America to be like the Iron Sheik tunic man, the guy from Dubai, he's like around 5 feet 3 inches. It's unbelievable. His kids are unbelievable. His father left him this, here, this is for you. Go ahead. He has an empire. But let me tell you, he must be taking a bunch of slaps right now. Una mano de tranca que le están dando. Una mano de tranca. You know what tranca means? If you don't know what tranca means, you Google it. Le están dando una mano de tranca. Because he has to have, I'm talking about whatever watch you can think of, he has over there. And most of those Richard Mille watches, I'm going to say it loud and clear, dead in water. Dead in water. I'm telling you, they had their time, like Alain Cyberstein had it, like Company Jacob had it, like Mueller Frank had it, like Hublot had it, and now is, Richard Mille. Papi, se terminó el vacilón, little triangle, yellow, red, and blue, crazy hands, the rapper was using it. That rapper, ZJ, he was one of the ambassadors of Company Jacob in the 90s, in the 90s. He was one of the ambassadors, he was an ambassador, that guy, that rapper, And now he's the rapper, he's the ambassador of Richie Mille, Es que son, lo que tocan esa gente es mierda. Es mierda. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. And then you have all these people pushing other really, no-name watches like De Batun, Pronel, Pronel, those watches, they say it costs 150, pero ¿a quién cojones usted le van a cobrar $150,000? ¿A quién? A Mr. Donald. ¿A quién usted le van a cobrar $150,000? Who are you going to charge $150,000 to? Who are you going to charge $150,000 to on those watches? But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? They did charge somebody above 50. When you have a lot of money, you don't know what to do. You just basically, exactly. Tú sabes de Batún. You know what I'm trying to say. You know more than me, luxury gentlemen. You know more than me. All of you know more than me. I just know how to, hablar porquería. Then you have the Hungry Hippo. The Hungry Hippo pushing the Pronel. How do you pronounce it? Pronel, Preneo, a watch that costs 10 cents to the dollar. 20 cents to the dollar. There you go, 20 cents. So those people, that guy over there from Dubai, Papi, you're not going to believe what he's doing. So you understand what they're doing, because they don't know what to do no more. Now they're having clients come to visit them with watches that they bought, they bought on their own. Patek Philippe, an example, Patek Philippe 5980, all iced out, diamonds bracelet, diamonds in the casing, in the dial, all that. And the guy over there, the tunic man, the Iron Sheik tunic man, is now verifying watches if they're for real or they're fake. There's no more content. There's no more money. You could still bullshit people if there was still money left over. But all these people that took those SBA loans and those PPP loans and protection employment checks to pay the nómina, to pay their workers, they bought an Apache power boat, a cigarette, a Lamborghini, y no tienen dinero, tanto jodido. And they don't even have a penny no more. You know? Papi, eso es lo que hay. You guys want to hear something different? No, you're going to hear the truth from me. They spend it all their money. They don't have nothing no more. And now you have all these people over there in Dubai that they're running to Dubai too high over there, you know, because over there they protect you over there. They protect all these, you know, estos delincuentes, you know, delinquents that go over there too high over there. You don't know about that stuff. You guys are not ready about that stuff. You guys don't know about that, you know. I already told you about, you know, Chappelle Dave, you know. I told you about Chappelle Dave, and I think that left you a little bit wacko, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, la situación está jodida. ¿Tú me entiendes, José? ¿Tú me entiendes, José? Esto está jodido, pai. Está jodido. And I'm telling you what it is. You know, this is why I told you people to take your money and take your family on a vacation. You know, take them on a vacation to the jungle, to look at the safari, the lions. Stop giving it to these people. These people got used to you people. You were maintaining their lifestyle. You were maintaining your lifestyle, you know, their lifestyle. You know, not only did you guys give away all your money and watches to them, but then when they did a live stream, you would give them $400 as a super chat. And what do I get? When I do this for free, I get this. This I get. You know, it's like it is. I'm going to tell you every time. Ese es el negocio del bobo, del retonto. Tonto y retonto. You know who tonto retonto is? You guys don't know who tonto retonto is? You guys that don't speak Spanish, you want to know who tonto retonto is? Dumb and dumber. ¿Tú entiendes? Pero coño, no joda. ¿Cómo es eso? You give your money away to them. You give all your money away to them. And then when you see them, you want to take a picture with them, you know? You know, like the people over there, I told you in Philadelphia, you know, when they drink that, they lost their job, their house, their cars, all their money, but they have money to buy that thing, fentanyl, and they stay like this. Or they stay like this. For hours, they stay like this. Come on, man. What are they doing to these people? And how are they getting that? You know, the fentanyl, fantastic, you know, whatever you call that. You go over there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, one more time. What? You guys have to see this. If you see this, you say, oh my God, how is that? Or you know, or two of them together like this. What are they giving to those people, man? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. ¿Cómo es eso? How is that? You know, you gave all your money to these people, and they still want your money. They're still looking for a way to get your money. But ladies and gentlemen, I am the biggest thorn to the watch industry. You guys don't believe me, right? I am the biggest thorn. You know what a thorn is? Una astilla en las nalgas. You know, I'm telling you, I am the biggest thorn in the watch industry. You don't understand how they reach out to me for me to do the crossover. And I say, you know when you do a crossover in life? Cuando tú estás jodido, cuando tú estás pasmado, cuando no tienes cuarto, you know, when you don't have no more money, then you do a crossover. But I don't have to do a crossover, you know? I'm happy the way I live. I'm content the way I live. I don't need to do a crossover. I got you lambones that I got to take care of for free. Because you guys gave those people all your money for all those watches that I talked to you about. All your money to all those people. And then on top of that, you were maintaining their $17,000 dinner. Coño, está cabrón eso, mano. Está cabrón eso. Eso no está bien, papi. Eso no está bien. Eso no está bien. You know? Eso no está bien. Eso no está bien. Eso no está bien, muchacho. Eso no está bien. Eso, ¿cómo es eso? $17,000 steak dinners. You know? And I remember when they were saying, here he comes. Here comes the lollipop sucker. Lollipop sucker, 11 o'clock. You know, window liquor, 6 a.m. You know? These people are unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And me, what am I doing? You know? What am I doing? To get a thumbs up from you guys, and I got 35 organic Watch Channel subscribers. And now they're run now, now they're leave because, you know, those are the spookers. Thurston, I wasn't telling you that so you can give me $4.99. I'm just telling you that because, you know, but thank you very much. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, Thurston. Thank you so much for really, really cooperating with the channel. When you cooperate with the channel, it just lets me know that somebody appreciates what I'm doing. That's simple. That's just what it is, you know? But guys, you gotta stop giving away your money to these people, man. I told you something, and I'm gonna say it again because maybe you thought I was playing around. I have been the biggest thorn in the watch business. They don't even know, how did this guy come out? How did this guy come out? If you are smart and you wanted to become a watch dealer, you got already all the blueprints how to become a watch dealer. I've told you everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you something on chapter 28 that is the most important thing that I have told you guys. I told you, ex-luxury dealers that lost their line are still in business. Only they don't have no more the same responsibilities of doing a build-out. No more. And you guys might be thinking, you know, is this guy pulling our hair? Coño, man. You believe those people, but you won't believe what I'm telling you? It's for free. Ay, Señor mío, gloria a Dios. Coño, Renato, ayúdame. Cruz, ayúdame, porque esto está malo. Esto está malo, muchachos, esto está malo. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this watch that I have here for you guys. This is a watch that I'm going to show you today, because this is a new watch. Watch. It's Patek Philippe. Watch this. This is a Patek Philippe. White gold. Calatrava. Pilot travel time. Olive green strap. Olive beige dial. You know, with the green markers, the hour markers. You know, tremendo, beautiful timepiece. Remember, this is the white gold. I just finished telling you the creamy dial, correct. Creamy dial, and then the hour markers are green, you know, but it gives it like that green, you know, feeling, you know, but it's a beige color, you know, but it gives it this, you know, like you mix it up with this green with that. It's beautiful, right? You know what I'm trying to say. But check this out so you understand where I'm going with this. Oye, porque esto es un abuso, muchachos. Esto es un abuso. Esto es un abuso. And that is also the 5524, right? And I told you about the 5524. And I told you don't pay for that watch. I told you don't pay for that watch $31,000, and it's a rose gold. This is a white gold, and it just came out. You know, strap, you know, the green strap. You know what I'm trying to say. Come on, help me out, guys. Help me out. Work with me, you know, work with me. In this watch, the retail price is $73,549. See that? Well, he knows. Que bravo. Good for you, Renato, right? Good for you. Check this out. You know, a little green, it's like a G.I. Joe green dial, you know, like a little strap, you know, like a Velcro. It's not Velcro, but it looks like that, you know? And then the beige with the green dial. Mr. Blair, if it was $39,000, there you go, luxury gentlemen. There you go. Now tell me, estos gilipollas, they got that watch, and they're asking for that watch. You saw what Mr. Luxury Gentleman put it, because he put the number there. And if I show you, because I am going to show you the number that he said, and I'm going to show you my number. don't pay for that watch because I have to tell you the truth. A luxury gentleman, I got to tell you the truth, papi. Don't pay for that watch more than $59,000. Exactly what he told you. Now, the Rose Gold, don't pay 31. Because eso es así, papi. Wait a little bit, wait till something happens a little more, winter time, wait till that happens. Look, he said, mira, in luxury, he says you pay 59,000. That's how it is. Listen to me. When you guys say that, we have a bunch of subscribers in the channel that when I say a price, it makes me laugh. They say, an example, I'll say, don't pay for the Rolex Hawk, right? This right here. Don't pay, listen to this, don't pay more than $15,900. Then somebody writes to me, a keyboard warrior, and writes to me and says, man, if you direct me to the $15,900 for that Hawk, I'm going to buy it. No comas mierda. They're all over the place. And now you're telling me here now, if you find me that, if 50, whatever you call it, I don't know what it was no more. You know what I'm saying? That one over there with the green dot, with the green strap. They say, I'm going to go buy it. No comas mierda. Tú vas a pagar esto. Esto es lo que tú vas a pagar. Esto es lo que tú vas a pagar. I've been sitting here for an hour and 25 minutes. Y ni un chelo mandado, ni un chelo. Nada más Mr. Thurston Howard III me dio un chelo. You know what chelo is? I'm not going to tell you. You Google it. But Thurston Howard III es el único que me dio un chelo. Y me quedé sin garganta. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something about a Rolex. A Rolex is platinum. Estos lambones, these palomos, when this watch came out, they said that this was the dog with fleas. And that nobody wanted that watch. And I said, okay, nobody wants this watch. El orto sin pena, papi. Tú sabes que eso es así, José. Tú lo sabes. Tú sabes que eso es así. The 1908. 1908. No, papi. You're my team. All of you are my team. All of you, papi. All of you here are my team. I'm just, breaking your chops. Because you guys gave away all your children's tuition money and your 401k. And you started picking on your wife's 401k to continue maintaining those people over there. Those people, they drive those red gold fast cars, Louis Vuitton, Nike sneakers, ripped jeans, Montclair sweaters, Supreme hoodies. You give them all that money. And then on top of that, you go to the live stream and you give them away your children's dental insurance, co-payment. That's enough. No more. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1908, beautiful platinum. With an alligator strap, with an alligator. This is a beautiful watch. It's a beautiful watch. But they will say, you know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Donut? They will say that this is the dog with fleas. Gracias, Renato. Listen, guys, I didn't say that so you guys can go, you know what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much. Gracias a todos. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you. So the 1908 was a watch that they were saying is a dog with fleas. Out of the batch, that's the dog with fleas. And ladies and gentlemen, that watch has become a little monster. A little monster. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful blue. The motif. Index dial. Motif index blue dial. It's a beautiful watch. And it has a beautiful pamper blue dial, or sky blue, or baby blue, powder blue dial. It was beautiful, beautiful watch, platinum. And ladies and gentlemen, it has an alligator strap. And the retail price is $31,500. And ladies and gentlemen, this watch went all the way up to 70, 65, 59. You know, you follow me? You follow me? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you because you need to know this. There's no more. El último dinero que existía, the last money that existed. You know when you're in your house through the morning, when you wash your face through the morning, and you're gonna go wash your mouth, and you get the toothpaste, and there's no more there. You have to roll it all up and squeeze to get the last drop out. You know, to wash your mouth. This is what they did to you guys in the last year. The last year, they took the last couple of dollars you have left, you know? They did it to you guys. Y lo jodieron. And now that watch went from 65 to 60 to 58, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you because nobody's buying. Nobody is buying. Get it through your head, the watch market is dead. Get it through your head, the watch market is dead. No sean lambones. You know, pretty soon I'm going to do a forum. I'm going to do a private forum like that guy. You know, I think his name is Tony Robinson. You know, Tony Robinson that walked the fire. Beautiful, Mr. Dona, beautiful. I hope that's what you're talking about, that 45. You know, walk the fire. You know, Tony Robinson, I'm going to put you guys to walk the fire and show you some more things, you know, of what's going on out there. You know, esto está jodido. Esto está jodido. And I'm going to tell you today, don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $47,000 and bam! You know, that's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, Miss Libon. Thank you very much, Papa. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Gracias, Papa. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you so much. You know, now I can go to bed and say, man, I gave them my energy. I gave them everything to them. I invited them to my house and they appreciated me, you know. You know, you guys can put 50 cents, you know. It makes me happy, you know. You know what I'm saying, you know. I'm going to have tomorrow some more jungle juice with that, you know, that super chat that you guys gave me. I really mean that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, that's our watch market for this this beautiful evening today. You know, I think I covered a whole bunch of things today for you guys. You know, thank you, Renato. Gracias. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Jose Mercado. Gracias. Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something what's happening with gold. I hope you learned something what's happening with the black Submariner date. You know, black ceramic and black dial. It's taking over the green one, the green ceramic bezels. The black one is the one that's hot now. Really, really hot. I hope you learned something with the robbery of over there, San Ramon, St. Raymond, California. I hope you learned something with the other, you know, watch company in Geneva, you know, or watches or whatever you call it. You know, they have many umbrellas. If you have stocks, get rid of them already. I mean, these people ya perdieron las nalgas, you know, los pelos. You know what I'm talking about over there. You know, watches of Swiss, you know, Swiss Geneva, you know, that company. It went down today at 0.6%, papi. Esto se jodió. Gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something else to you guys. Thank you, Mr. Blair. Thank you, Mr. Blair, for that super chat. Thank you very, very much. My God, I feel like I'm not going to talk no more about like that because then I feel like I'm twisting your arm to Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. And I mean all of you, man. All of you. We just need you guys in the channel. You know, because if you guys don't come to the channel, you know, this is what they want. They want it to go like this. You know, but we have it like this. Look. All right, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video, like this live stream. Don't forget all that, right, guys? I hope you have fun today with me. I really hope so. My wife has sent me a couple of texts. I have another phone, and she's texting me. Thank you so much for everything. Have a wonderful evening. Be smart, be well. And like we always say, take care and brush your hair. Good night, guys. Good night. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you very much for everything.